I want you to think about the last time that you were completely alone. No phone, no music, no podcast, no distractions, no people, just you and God. For many of us, we honestly can't even remember the last time we were fully alone and fully present in the moment. But what's interesting is that Jesus intentionally sought out solitude over and over and over again in the Gospels. And so, if the Son of God, the Messiah, intentionally sought out times to be with the Father and to seek solitude, maybe we should too. And so, I've noticed something in my own life that the louder life becomes, the harder it is to hear God. We're constantly surrounded by noise. We're constantly distracted by notifications, social media, entertainment. And while none of those things are inherently sinful or bad, they can slowly crowd our time away from God. And so today, I want to take a look at why Jesus repeatedly withdrew into solitude and why I think that we need to recover that practice. And so the first place I want to look at is in the book of Luke, one of the Gospels, and it's Luke 5:16. And Jesus' context here, he's healing a man with leprosy, and there's great crowds. And the first one is that Jesus often withdrew to pray. And it says, but Jesus often withdrew to lonely places and prayed. And so notice that this doesn't say that he withdrew once, or he withdrew only this time, but it says that he would withdraw. He would often withdraw. Often. It was his habit. It was something in his life. And if Jesus prioritized getting away from the crowds to spend time with the Father, then I think we should too. And the second one is before major decisions, Jesus would withdraw into solitary, lonely places. And so Luke 6:12-13, he's choosing the 12 apostles, the 12 disciples. And he says, one of those days, Jesus went out to a mountainside to pray and spent the night praying to God. When morning came, he called his disciples to him and chose 12 of them, whom he also designated apostles. And so imagine that. I want you guys to picture this, to imagine that. Before one of the biggest decisions of Jesus' ministry, what did he do? He sought the Father first. He went out alone in a solitary place to pray. And it was a big decision. It was choosing the 12 people that would carry on his ministry and also follow and learn from him as he went on. And so how often do we make decisions first and pray later? But instead, we should pray before every decision and every big decision, because Jesus did. And the third is after busy seasons. Mark 6:31 says, come away by yourselves to a desolate place and rest a while. And so even Jesus recognized the need to step away and to find rest. And now we can find that rest in Jesus. And rest isn't laziness. Rest is something that we need as humans. And so another video I want to make is like a day fully set aside to rest in God. And rest is obedience. God rested on the seventh day after he created the world, not because he was tired, but because he was finished. And he rested on the seventh day. And we are called to rest and find that rest in Jesus Christ. And solitude also helps us to hear God. Being solitude, being present, helps us to focus on God and to hear him in our prayers. And David says in the Psalms, be still and know that I am God. And so it's hard to be still when our minds are always occupied, when we don't make time for God, and when we're constantly on our phone, we're constantly entertained, watching the news, watching sports, or staying up late, or doing, and while these things aren't inherently sinful, it's hard to be still when our minds are so occupied and we don't take time to seek out that rest with God and to seek out stillness, even if it's short, even if it's 5-10 minutes. We just need to be seeking out that stillness. And so I found, for me, some of the moments that I've heard God and some of the stillest moments I've been are sitting on mountain summits. I'm a mountain climber. I'm wanting to be a mountaineer. I don't want to get into any of this, but I climb a lot of mountains. And that's when I've heard God the most, is just being still, being present, being alone on a mountain or on the summit of a mountain and just enjoying the whole beauty that surrounds you. Or just walking through the woods, taking a hike, praying, not being on your phone during a hike, not listening to anything, but listening to the birds, feeling the grass next to you, or simply just leaving my phone behind for a while. And so solitude is so essential, to be still and to know that He is God and to hear God's voice. And so solitude isn't loneliness, and our culture fears being alone. But there's a difference between solitude and isolation. And they're two separate things. Isolation is just separating yourself from people and not wanting to be with people, not wanting to see anybody, not wanting to hang out, not wanting to talk or associate anybody, and essentially just numb your mind almost. But solitude is intentionally creating space to be with God and intentionally making space to clear your mind, to let God's Spirit envelop you, to let God's Spirit love you, and to be filled with love. And so isolation leaves you empty, but solitude fills you and fills your mind and helps you be still with God. And another thing is, we also fill every quiet moment with a distraction. Man, this fly is like a great example of noise. He's distracting me from this video. This is exactly, we fill every quiet moment. And man, get out of here, fly. And so, hold on, let me just restart this one. And we fill every quiet moment with noise, but we could fill every quiet moment with just presence, being still. When we're standing in line, what do? We grab our phone, we start scrolling. When we're sitting waiting for a doctor's office, what do? We grab our phones. When we're at a stoplight, when we're stopping in a car, what do? We grab our phones. When we're driving, what's every time we're doing? Listening to music or a podcast. When we're walking, what is it? Phone, music, podcasts. And so we rarely allow ourselves to just be present, to just sit still and just focus. Like, that's one thing that our generation has lost in what these social media companies intentionally design. They're designed to pull away our attention, and they're designed for us to lose focus, to lose sight. But instead, just put away the phone and just sit. Just observe. Observe whatever's around you. If you're in nature, if you're outside, observe the birds, observe the weather, observe the clouds, the sky. If you're waiting in a doctor's office, just observe. Like, what are people doing? Dang, dude, this fly is not leaving me alone. And so maybe those quiet moments are opportunities to talk with God instead. And maybe when we start filling those quiet moments with saying a quick prayer or just thanking God for this day, is when we allow ourselves to be more still. And so with all this, just start small. You don't have to disappear to the mountains for 3 days. You don't have to go fast for 40 days in the wilderness to be able to find and to experience God. But maybe today, just leave your phone inside and go for a 20-minute walk. Go for a 20-minute prayer walk, Or on your walk, observe the sky, observe the clouds, the trees, the grass, the birds, the bugs. Just start observing more and start being more present. Or go sit on a bench like I'm doing right now and just sit and just think. And I want to also ask you guys and challenge you guys this. Do you think you could sit on a bench for more than an hour or for an hour without being distracted? And if your answer is no, then I invite you to just start sitting and being more still. In the mornings or at night, open your Bible, leave your phone in another room, pray, listen, and that's where it starts, is removing distractions so we're able to sit still and train our minds that, okay, it's okay to not constantly be notified, to not constantly be instantly gratified. Because when you train your mind is when you also train your soul to be hungry for God and to be hungry for Him in those silent and those quiet moments. And so I think the devil's and the enemy's greatest strategy today isn't about us getting to reject God, but it's about keeping us distracted to not spend time with God. And in the Gospels, Jesus was never rushed. He wasn't controlled by the crowds, but He made time in His ministry to withdraw. He made time to pray. He made time to be with His Father. And so if Jesus needed solitude, how much more do we? If the Son of God needed solitude, why does that make us think that we don't? And so stop fearing being alone. Stop fearing the idea of solitude. And so this week, this day, I just encourage you, start small, 30, 20, 40 minutes, No phone, just music, just you, Bible, your thoughts, and God. And you might actually be surprised how peaceful this is and what God is teaching you and how much you're able to just listen to God. And so I just hope you guys got something from this video, and I just pray that you just start to seek solitude and you start to seek out the quiet moments, because that's where you ultimately hear God and that's where you find Him. And so thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.